What's good, folks? It's Nightmare Frame here with a new Last Epoch video, coming at you with a Shadow Cascade Rogue. It's a simple 2-button combo. I played this build last season and had a blast with it. I just got to Empowered Monolith and it's been smooth sailing until I did the arena thing. It's a whole different scene right there. The build is about being agile, spawning shadows, and have them mimic your actions to deal insane amounts of bleeding damage, while also slowing enemies down, granting yourself survivability, and doing your best to evade their attacks and kill them in the process. You know, just typical rogue things. The mastery is going to be the Blade Dancer, and I'll be dual-wielding katanas, as those are going to be the best in slot weapons for this build, as they offer decent base damage and a crit strike multiplier. We need to have the crit strike multiplier, as this build is going to be heavy in the crit department. Multiplying the damage we deal when we crit is going to be very useful. Not to mention having a lot of attack speed, physical penetration, and a lot of damage. Playing RPG is all about that dopamine high. So let's get on with it. Alright, so let's go over the build in question. But first, let's start off the gameplay loop. We're going to start off our engages with Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb is going to be turned into a traversal skill for us, so as we use it, this allows us to engage enemies. You can see all of our boons right there. We get Haste, we get Silver Shroud, and we get Dusk Shroud. All of these good things. And while we're in here, we get bonus damage, blind enemies, and we're a bit evasive. So that's what we use when we want to engage or disengage usually. So engage, we cast our Synchronized Strike, and then our Shadow Cascade. This allows us to deal a lot of upfront damage and just keep on the move, because we want to be on the move all the time, because the more we're moving, the less damage we're going to be taking, and of course, we're just avoiding all the hits that are coming our way. And if we also want to distract enemies even more, we just have our decoy. We can just pop it down there. We have some more survivability. Very nice. Because let's be honest, if you get chain stunned, you're dead. Keep on the move, slash and bleed enemies, and you're good to go. So let's quickly go over our passive tree. In the rogue tree, we're going to be taking 8 points here. This gives us attack speed and some physical damage. We want a lot of attack speed. Of course, we're going to be hitting faster, and our Shadow Cascade will scale with the attack speed as well, with one of the nodes. Take 2 points here, 1 point there, just to get this haste bonus, because we want to be moving fast. When we level up a bit more, I'm considering leveling this up all the way to level 5, because survivability is going to be very nice to have. And right here, Sapping Strikes. This allows us to gain back some mana when we use a skill that doesn't consume mana, and that's going to be our Puncture. Gonna smack that, we get some mana. It doesn't consume any mana, so we can pretty much spam this. It's gonna be pretty good to apply a lot of stacks of bleed and armor shred. We're gonna take 5 points here, giving us crit chance per sword. Also, don't forget this, because this allows you to dual wield. If you look at our melee crit chance, it's at 69%. Nice. And of course, we're still working on our necrotic resistance because, hey, ooh, that hurts if you don't have it up there. We just got to corruption levels, so we're still working on our gear to improve it even further. Moving on to the Blade Dancer tree. As you're leveling, you're going to be taking 5 points here, not fully 8 yet, just to get you to this point, and you're going to put in 5 points, and move along this tree. You're going to be putting in points just to get you enough to move on to the end. We're taking in 5 points here to give us the bonus damage and attack speed while dual wielding. We went for the critical vulnerability and increased crit chance, and this is going to be really nice for survivability. I would definitely want to put more points here, but also want to put points here for the glancing blow. You also get glancing blow right here and glancing blow over here. So this is all about surviving. It's pretty much damage reduction. And just one note here for the Silver Shroud. Silver Shroud is really nice just for additional survivability. We want the mana regen because Synchronized Strike does consume a lot of mana. And finally, one additional shadow, and we just get some bonus damage with our shadows. All you need to do is put in 1 point here for that one shadow. And in the Falconeer tree, we went for the additional dodge rating, some health, additional dodge rating, and finally some mana regen and dodge rating. And the cool part is when you take 4 points here, you get mana back when you perform a dodge. And when you dodge, it's also some additional survivability with your other passives. Now going over to our specialized skills. I do have points into Shadow Cascade, Smoke Bomb, and Synchronized Strike. That's why it's over level 20. Now, you may have noticed I am mastering Umbral Blades, but it's nowhere in my skill bar because this is activated via our shadows. And we're spawning shadows via Smoke Bomb, Shadow Cascade, and Synchronized Strike. So if we were to put the ability on my bar, this is what it does. You see these little 3 things here? And it's going to consume a lot of mana just stacking these. And we don't want to press that button all the time, so we can easily activate it by doing this. Spawn with our shadows. They're going to detonate, deal some damage, and of course trigger bleeds. So let's go over our skill specialization. As you're leveling, highly recommended to use Puncture because this is going to take you pretty far right off the beginning. You get this at level 5 right there. It's just a nice spamming ability. And the last skill that we'll be specializing in is going to be Synchronized Strike because this will consume a lot of mana early on, and you don't want that. You can use this ability as soon as you get it without even specializing in it. So let's start off with Puncture because this is going to be our main way to deal damage early on in the game. You're going to take the required points just to get you here, and our bleed chance is going to be just fine because we have so many coming through. You're going to get Frenzy. Frenzy is a nice buff to make you attack faster and all that juicy stuff. And then finally, we're going to go to Mind Piercer here. This will give you mana on hit alongside that passive right here. Sapping Strikes. This is going to be a good way to sustain your mana. If you run out of it, spamming your Shadow Cascade and Smoke Bomb. And just take that 1 point, come down here, and add Rapid Strikes. Because you're going to pop this really quick to get your mana and apply a bunch of debuffs and bleeds. The +1 to my Smoke Bomb is coming from my armor piece. Very nice to have. And the one thing you want to do is go down this path immediately. Because it turns Smoke Bomb into a traversal skill. If you do not have the points for Smoke Bomb, you can always use Shift early on, but you want to make it a traversal skill right off the bat. You're going to go up here to give you that Dust Crowd, and of course survivability here. As you can see, we get Glancing Blow and additional dodge rating. Very good for survivability. You're going to take Thick Balm to slow down enemies. And for additional survivability, you will go down here. As you can see, you're going to be dodging the next attack, and you get Ward. And on top of that, you get Silver Shroud. Very, very good. Some survivability and mana gain. And of course, chance to spawn shadows when the Smoke Bomb is cleared. Make sure you prioritize Smoke Bomb as a traversal skill and for some additional survivability right off the bat. Because look at all these buffs that we're getting right there. Now for Umbral Blades, you want to go to the left side to give you Umbral Remnant, so the shadows drop an Umbral Blade. And of course, you want to change them to the spinny blades, increasing the damage, which can only throw down 1 at a time. But that's not going to be a problem because you're going to have shadows. And of course, Homing Blades, they seek out the enemies. Then we're going to go up this path right here, have them explode and deal explosion damage. And finally, just going to go down here with a bleed chance and the haste chance. So for Shadow Cascade, our main DPSing ability, you want to go down the right side first of all. As you go down here, this will give you mana refunded, mana gain per shadow. You don't necessarily have to take this. You can take this way after. But then you're going to go down here to give you bonus shadows and, of course, increase damage. So that way, this way, and more damage when you have shadows. And then you're going to take the Shadow on Kill, 40% chance Shadow on Kill. And of course, increase the damage per attack speed. I did try going up this path. It just felt so bad. Because you do not want to let animations shine. If you let animations shine, you die. You want to be as fast as possible. And finally, Synchronized Strike. Since this is the last skill you'll be specializing in. Because you can technically use this skill without even specializing in it to spawn shadows and have you deal damage with Shadow Cascade. The first thing you want to do when you come to this ability, you want to grab the mana efficiency and go to the left side here. Do not come up here just yet. This will destroy your mana early on. I would suggest this to take it after you're comfortable with your mana replenishment. Okay? So, take the mana efficiency, go this way, and you'll be fine. Then, of course, add the healing. Of course, take this one to give you more damage with shadows and some healing, and then you can go over here to give you more shadows, and that's more damage. And because I have +3 in Synchronized Strike, I just took these final nodes, but I did go this way for the crit vulnerability and that beautiful armor shred. I wanted to try going this path, but we'll see. And in terms of gear, I did say we're going to be focusing on katanas as our main weapons, as the katana gives you crit damage on the implicit, and then for the prefixes, you definitely want to have attack speed crit chance, and the suffixes a chance to bleed, and if you can get yourself armor shred, that's even better. I did get pretty lucky with this roll, so I don't know if I'm going to change this anytime soon. And that crit chance right there is base crit and not a multiplier. If it says increase, it's going to be a multiplier. And something similar on this one. I did get spell damage, but thank God the ceiling worked. I got rid of it. Unfortunately, it was spell damage. But we got ourselves base crit and attack speed, and we got that juicy T6 drop with a 245% chance to shred armor, and a nearly perfect roll on the implicit. So our weapons are okay for now, and they're doing their work. And I just need to work a little bit on the survivability portion of the build. With the headpiece, I did get 3 points into synchronized strike, and we just upgraded the dexterity and the lightning resistance. Very nice. The implicit gives me some armor and cooldown reduction. I would have to roll a bit on the implicits just to see if I can get something nice. For the chest piece, I do have some resistances as the implicits, and we rolled in plus to Smoke Bomb and Shadow Cascade. And this plus to Shadow Cascade gives us a lot of melee damage, and that's just straight up more damage. Now, for the boots, I highly recommend for you to get yourself Blood of the Exile. Blood of the Exile grants you decent amount of movement speed right there, bleed duration, more physical ailment damage to moving targets, and of course, attributes. And the attributes are just going to give you more damage and some survivability. And these are going to be the best boots for you to use. And if you want to get a unique pair of gloves, the other one will be Salt the Wound. This gives you increased bleed duration, crit damage multiplier, yeah, increased damage over time. Unfortunately, you don't get attack speed, but this is just going to be some nice damage. And of course, right there, 40 to 50% added crit damage multiplier converted to physical penetration with bleed. So this is going to be insanely good. It works really well with bleed and poison, but if you can get yourself those 2 pair of uniques, you'll be sorted. And of course, with rings, you just want increased damage over time, crit chance, and if you can get some attack speed, that's also pretty good. Some mana regen, increased damage over time. And for the relic, is not the greatest, but it's something to help out with my damage. The belt resistances, damage, and of course, mana regen. So we're really good when it comes to mana. Now, if we hit enemies, we're going to get even more mana back. Oh yeah, and for the amulet, we got ourselves this Warrior Jade's amulet. It gives us melee attack speed. Very nice. Definitely want to reroll the implicits just to give us a bit more. You know what? Let's see what we can get. Let's see what we can get. Rune of Shaping. All right, boys. Let's see. Do we get Giga attack speed? At least 10 attack speed. That'll be really nice. Nope. Nope. Oh, actually huge. 15. We got max roll on the implicit. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, increased melee attack speed. There we go. Even faster. Yeah, for the idols, you want to have these 2 juicy ones right here. Mana efficiency. You want to have mana efficiency with synchronized strike. Very nice. And of course, you got some armor shred. We got lucky with a crit chance and crit damage right there. And over here, I got the damage per active shadow with Shadow Cascade. So juicy damage. And of course, increased physical damage over time. 5% chance to not consume Silver Shroud. That's not bad, right? Increased damage while dual wielding and increased Silver Shroud duration, +9 ward, you know, the good stuff. And everything else just simple stuff to give me resistances and stun avoidance, and alongside some damage over time and some crit chance and crit damage. We're at Corruption 100. Let's demonstrate how this build works. Let's go over here, because this will have a decent group of enemies. Let's see if we can stack up these enemies without dying. We're going to do our smoke bomb there. And that's it. That's pretty much the combo. Let's see what we got here with our nemesis. Oh, yeah. This is a juicy empowered nemesis. Not bad. Doing these tombs sometimes can be quite risky because you can get chain stunned. You gotta be careful, you know. use your abilities, right? Especially these guys. They just jump on you out of nowhere. All right, here's a nice clump. Woo! Do not get hit by any of those AoE attacks. Once you get hit, stunned, you dead. All right, you see how hard is it? You see how hard it is for them to hit me? We have to make it hard for them to hit me. Otherwise, if they get in one hit, ooh, it's going to be a really bad luck. If they do manage to kill, it's going to be bad luck for us. And they're just going to die there from damage over time. Those juicy bleeds. Woo! Nice, a group clump of enemies right there. Oh, these guys do that freaking 180 if you dodge. Gotta be careful. And they got that stun. All right, pretty clean. Let's get to that boss. If you're not careful with that... Ooh, we got a champion here. All right, that's a nice clump of enemies. Oh, just got that stupid beam that can stun you. That's bad. You don't want that. Ooh. Oh, we're slowed. We don't want to be slowed. Being slowed is bad. Slow is death. Ooh, you see that? Let's not die here. We don't want to get skill issued while we're recording. Oh, that's bad. Okay, we actually have to go around. Oh god. It's one of those maps. Got a little bit of that. Okay, let's finally make our way to the boss. Jump on him. Woo, they just spawn in. All right, here we go. Boss time. I'm going to drop my decoy over there. There we go. That wasn't so bad. Well, that's pretty much the build, boys. But if anyone has any advice to improve on the build, please do leave it in the comments section. Would love to hear your thoughts. This is my first Last Epoch build, so hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully, you have fun with the game. I'm definitely having a blast with the game. I'm already working on a Forge Guard, so hope to see you soon. If you enjoyed and learned something from this video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more content, streams, and so much more. Do it for the description. Thanks for watching. As always, a peace. Bye-bye now. Bye.